Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am not here with Geeky Sparkles. I'm going to talk about the Ghost of GamerGate. Yeah, so apparently GamerGate is still a thing, and we are blaming the controversy around the Ghost of Yotei on GamerGate, right? It's not just, players noticing on their own some of the weirdness around the staff involved in this game. It's not people just noticing on their own that maybe this game is a little quote-unquote woke, because, not everybody's terminally online. Some people just pick up a game and they're like, yeah, that's a little weird. But we're going to talk about this because here it is, 2025, and Slate still can't get over GamerGate. It's like they're never going to forget GamerGate, because GamerGate, in a lot of ways, I'm going to be honest, it did kind of push the pendulum back in the other direction. We had far left media outlets for years demonizing gamers, demonizing nerds, demonizing anybody that was even slightly conservative, and they had an iron grip on all media. And it wasn't just the gaming publications; it was like all of pop culture. And this went on for the better part of a decade, if not longer, depending on who you ask. And because of the pushback, it did kind of escalate. And now we're basically looking at, I just got done recording a video on Barry Weiss and CBS News. And now we've got like the Ellisons coming in and buying up everything because the free money has run out. The venture capital's run out, right? And plus people are sick of it. They pushed too hard for too long. And people got tired of it. They got tired of the wokeness. And it is a thing. We try to be nice and be like, well, it's not necessarily woke. Well, you know what? A lot of the shit is woke. It's not, I don't think it's as bad. I'm going to be honest. I don't think things are as bad now as they were, 3, 4, 5 years ago. But there's still a ghost of wokeness. And especially in video games that take, half a decade to make, you're going to have 2020 or 2018 sensibilities. And we're seeing a lot of these games get released current year and they're falling flat in their faces because gamers are rejecting them. More and more articles coming out talking about how gamers are playing old games. They're not buying new games. It's kind of the same with movies too. I just got done taking my daughter to go see The Dark Crystal on the big screen, which was awesome because I haven't seen it on the big screen since I was a little kid, and I was terrified. My grandmother, I remember, took me to go see it because she's thinking Muppets. We went to go see it, and I didn't remember much about it, but I was weirdly fascinated. We went to go see it, and I wanted to leave. Like when the Emperor turned to dust, I was like, "Oh my god, this is horrifying." I wanted to leave, and she's like, "No, I paid for it. Sit your ass down. We're watching the movie." She did the same thing at ET too. It was like I was way too young, I think, even to see ET, and it's like, "Yeah, sit your ass down. You're watching the movie." But I was fascinated by it, and I wound up getting the book and record later, and so I could, kind of like relive the story, even though I think I blocked a lot of the movie out of my mind. And back then, you couldn't watch these things on TV on endless repeat unless you had HBO. Not everybody was rich enough to have a VCR, so and we didn't have one for years. I mean, we had the money for it. We just, I don't know, we just never had one until like the late '80s. But like, people are going back to old stuff, and it's because of, a lot of times because of people associated with the games. It's not even the game itself; it's the people associated with the game. So we're going to talk about that in these unprecedented times. Why they're so obsessed with GamerGate. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Go out to news.clownfishtv.com. I know I keep pushing it. I know you're sick of hearing about it, but the reason I'm doing it is I want you guys to get notified when we post new videos, because YouTube is doing a really, really shitty job of notifying people. It's very hit or miss. It's all AI algorithm based now, and more or less, even if you subscribe to us on YouTube, now please subscribe and make sure you're still subscribed. But even if you subscribe to us on YouTube, that doesn't mean you're going to see our videos. They're going to go by whatever the AI algorithm thinks you're going to like. And those are the videos they're going to show you. And they're also going to try to shove shorts in front of your face at every opportunity, because they love shorts, maximum engagement, and they don't have to pay creators as much. So check it out, news.clownfishtv.com. So this comes from Slate. And man, these these articles. Just, last month they had one too. This was from a Pointer. Gamergate was a warning that the media failed to heed, and now we've got Ghost of Gamergate. We didn't have any Gamergate articles for years. Actually, I don't think we had any Gamergate articles during the Biden administration. Then as soon as it looked like Trump was, going to be the nominee again, and then like he was potentially going to win again, all the Gamergate shit starts up. Remember that they were going to make that Gamergate movie, and then they decided not to do it because it was going to be a comedy about Gamergate. It's like, yeah, don't do that. All right, coming from Slate, Ghost of Gamergate, a new video game sparks fury and accusations of wokeness and entertainment, but we've played this game before, and it's boring. Then why the fuck are you obsessed with it? Why the fuck are you doing articles about it all the time? Why? Back in the summer of 2020, during the first year of COVID lockdowns, 2 first-party PlayStation games were released back-to-back just a month apart. Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2. Upon release, Ghost of Tsushima, which is excellent, was pretty beloved by a specific right-wing culture war gamer crowd who placed it on a pedestal specifically as a way to directly attack The Last of Us Part 2. Yes, because you put those 2 games side by side, and the Ghost of Tsushima was amazing. It was. Well, Last of Us Part 2 is far from perfect. For example, Neil Druckmann, the game's creator and co-director, took inspiration from the Israel-Palestine conflict, was criticized for both sidism. He's Jewish. What'd you think he was gonna say? I mean, seriously. God, it's amazing how quickly they turn on you if your politics aren't current year enough. But the game's sin on release for many on the political right was that it took a series whose lead was previously a man and continued the story with one lead who is a lesbian and another whose appearance was deemed too masculine for these players to be attracted to her. Frequently, allegations this character must be trans were used to suggest her appearance discredited her right to womanhood. That would be Abby, and Abby was butch as fuck. And then, speaking of which, you had to watch her get it from behind, too, which was weird. I mean, it's just, yeah. Ghost of Tsushima's tale was of a male samurai's solitary quest for revenge and was heralded as the epitome of what gaming could be. Fast forward to 2025, we see the release of its sequel, Ghost of Yotei, set 300 years after Tsushima. Yotei follows the story of Atsu, a young woman on a quest for revenge against the 6 people responsible for slaughtering her family. Driven by fury and bloodlust, she embodies the identity of a vengeful female spirit said to be unstoppable, blah, 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 blah. Okay. At its core is a game very similar to Ghost of Tsushima, offering more combat tools for players, but largely a mechanically similar adventure with what I'd argue is a more personally engaging main character. Atsu's quest for revenge has more nuance to the twists and turns it takes along the way. Now, the very same right-wing voices who held the Ghost of Tsushima up as one of the best games ever made when it helped their argument seem to think Ghost of Yotei is a terrible video game with no redeeming qualities. YouTube creators decried how woke politics ruined the games. Better not be one of ours. There's Slate, because, nope, it's not. Project Egg Roll. It's not ours. Others took to X to cry its progressive agenda. We ignored the woke hirings and other rumors. Okay, this is Grums. Every time Grums is invoked by any one of these publications, they make sure to put his real name out there. I'm just saying. It's a little weird. They do the same thing with the libs of TikTok. But if it was somebody on the other side, somebody whose politics they agreed with, and someone who maybe wanted to keep their real identity kind of on the down low, even if they knew who it was, they would abide by that. They would. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen with people before. It's like, it's just very, very weird. Anyway, Grum said we ignored the protagonist, changed to a woman for no good reason. We ignored that they made her ugly, but then it turns out it was woke-infested, assassination-loving Antifa supporting lesbian, ending woke piece of slop after all. Well, this is the thing. And they're going to get into Dragon Age the Veilguard too, which everybody freaking hated. People are turning on this game. Yes. Because the people who worked on it are kind of garbage people. We had one of the devs got fired for making a really inappropriate Charlie Kirk joke and basically said on Blue Sky that they would do it again. And a lot of people are, even people on the left are like, yeah, that's gross. Let's not do that. And the same thing happened at DC Comics too. It's like, let's not do that. That's disgusting. Didn't like Charlie Kirk, but it's disgusting to celebrate political assassination in America. It's gross. Let's not do it. Even The View, for God's sake, even The View, they were like, yeah, let's just not celebrate this at all in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, there were people that got fired over it at Sucker Punch that worked on this game, which kind of shows you where they're at. But really, it was also the voice actors too, right? A resurfaced post from voice actor Eric Ishii, lead in Sony's Ghost of Yotei, declaring, "I'm Antifa, and so's my wife," has gone viral, and Antifa has been designated a terrorist organization. I would not be out and proud about being associated with a terrorist organization at this point in time. Yeah, it's not very fashionable. And I think that we're going to see a lot of people get ejected from the video game industry. We're going to see a lot of people get ejected from the comic book industry because they were very out about it. She said some other stuff too. They said, yeah, Drew Harrison mocked Charlie Kirk's assassination. It's coming from Mario Knopfel. Conservatives are canceling pre-orders. Progressives accuse Sony of caving and demand Harrison's reinstatement. Some activists are even calling for a boycott of all Sony titles. Ghost of Yotei, once hyped as Sony's next prestige blockbuster, is now being torn apart by culture war backlash before it launches, according to Kotaku. But people are drawing their own conclusions. I mean, this is the thing that is crazy, though, is that games and really any media, it's being judged by the behavior of the people who worked on it. In some cases, more so than the end product. I mean, there have been situations like, I know Blue Beetle. I know the director of Blue Beetle was insufferable, and I didn't see the anti-Trump, anti-fash sentiment in Blue Beetle like the director tried to spout off. You know, either that or they reined him in or something. And the movie was actually, it was okay. It wasn't great, but it was all right. I thought it was all right. It was very much a CW show, but you know, for what it was, I expected the worst, and it was okay. But I've seen this happen time and time again, where you've got people, you know, run at the mouth. The media the product tanks because people don't want your hot takes. They just want to know, you know, is the game good or not? And then it, you know, the game comes out and it's actually, or the, you know, comic or whatever it is, it comes out and people are like, yeah, it was actually okay. I really wish that the director or actor or whoever shut their fucking mouth so I could enjoy it without thinking about their damn politics. Because back in the day, we didn't think about the people who made the stuff. We didn't think about their politics because they didn't talk about it all the time because we didn't have social media. I'm sure a lot of them had very different politics from you or I. You know, and I probably have different politics from you and you from me, but that's okay. You know, it's okay. But people didn't obsess about it because it wasn't in your face. Social media has taken down the barrier between the creators and the audience, and that's probably not a good thing. We used to have, you know, PR people that would try to trot these celebrities out and put, you know, coach them and make sure that they put on the best possible face when they were on the Tonight Show. You know what I'm saying? And now these people are just like on their Instagram, on Blue Sky, just ranting. And they're doing themselves no favors because every time they, shoot their mouth off about some political flavor of the week, whatever the hell's going on, they chase off potential customers. And a lot of times it is actually like a mountain out of a molehill, right? It's like, maybe it's not that big of a deal, but people are like, oh shit, that just tells me everything I need to know. You know, normally it would just be like something you'd say offhandedly in the conversation. And it's never just like a one-time thing either. It's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that on social media. It's like, no, let's make my entire personality shitting on Republicans, then wonder why my sales have gone down 50%, you know, and that's what's going on here, right? I mean, just in general. Now, how the game is selling. I haven't played the game, and I'll tell you why. I haven't played the game because I don't have a lot of time to play the game, but I haven't played the game mostly because of the antics around it, and it might be really good. I don't give a fuck if it is. I don't really, there's so many other things I could be doing, like watching The Dark Crystal again on the big screen that I don't need to be buying this game, playing this game. I'd rather go do something that I know I'm going to enjoy, and it is what it is. But yeah, it's supposed to be selling okay. This is coming from Wolf's Gaming blog. Ghost of Yotei is selling well, but not quite as well as Ghost of Tsushima. They said Ghost of Yotei is PlayStation's latest first-party exclusive. Naturally, we all want to take a gander at those sweet, sweet sales numbers. Neither Sony nor Sucker Punch have offered up any official stats yet, so these numbers come from analytics firm Alinea, and therefore should be taken with a dash of salt. According to their data, Ghost of Yotei has sold through 1.6 million copies to consumers. That number goes up to 2 million copies if you include selling to retailers, and that's a PS5 exclusive, right? So that's pretty good for a PS5 exclusive. This means Ghost of Yotei is selling slightly slower than predecessor Ghost of Tsushima, which sold 2 million copies in just 3 days. That equates to around 100 million revenue thus far as possible. With the much larger install base of the PS4 helps Tsushima shift more copies versus the PS5's smaller player base. Then again, it's hardly uncommon for a sequel to sell a little softer. Well, yeah. Alinea does note, though, that Yotei earned its development budget back on just the second day, an impressive feat for a modern AAA game. Yeah, doesn't happen very often because of, frankly, people running at the mouth. That's a huge part of it. Sucker Punch confirmed that Ghost of Yotei's budget was roughly the same as Ghost of Tsushima, which was 60 million, which is very, very reasonable for a AAA title in this day and age. I mean, it could have added a zero to that, right? The marketing budget probably ran in the region of another 30 to 45 million, meaning that at this point, Ghost of Yotei should have successfully recovered its costs. Anything here on out should be profit. Okay. People were like, yeah, story's been okay, but whatever. So it's doing okay. I mean, it is. This is coming from PSU.com. Ghost of Yotei reportedly sells 1.6 million units, outselling Assassin's Creed Shadows 1.5 times on PS5. Well, that's not... I'm just saying. Assassin's Creed Shadows is kind of a flop, right? I mean, that's not saying much. That's not saying much at all. But it's doing pretty okay, right? But it's just, God, this just... They can't quit Gamergate. Oh my God, here they go. Okay, so now we're going to go through the whole thing. Now we're talking Assassin's Creed Shadows. The issue, okay, we're going back to this article on Slate. The issue of right-wing men attacking minority creatives and characters in video games has been going on for well over a decade at this point, and is unlikely to fade away anytime soon. Until then, I'm just going to be equally vocal when I love something and scream in all caps how happy I am about who I get to play as and how much I love specific casting choices. Well, then why did you have to write this article? If you're going to just be super positive about everything, why did you feel the need to write up an article about fucking Gamergate years after the fact and tie it into Ghost of Yotei, which seems to be selling pretty okay, right? And it's not like, again, these people are just kind of minding their own business. A lot of them are out there deliberately antagonizing gamers, deliberately antagonizing people. And then they get fired or they get backlash or people don't buy their shit. And then they're like, oh my God, guys, they're just attacking this poor woman. This poor woman who just said she was part of a terrorist organization. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't know if she actually is, or just, I mean, that's a whole nother discussion. There are people that consider themselves Antifa that are not part of whatever the organization also known as Antifa is. But, I wouldn't be broadcasting that in 2025. I guess she did know it was 2020, but it's going to bite her in the ass. I definitely wouldn't be out there as a representative of a company delighting in political assassination. I mean, that's just not good. If all these angry gamer boys can shout loud enough to redirect the direction of game development, I have to hope I can do the same in reverse. Okay. Laura Kate Dale. 2 articles. 2 articles? Oh, freelance writer and video game accessibility consultant. Past bylines include The Guardian, Polygon, IGN, Kotaku, and PC Gamer. All right. Anyway, there we go, guys. Gamergate never dies. Gonna wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later. For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.